All right, guys, welcome to our fifth training of the Learn to Go Pro. So my name is Casey, and I am your host, and I am going to rock and roll it tonight for us. So let's get started. So, this is all about skill set number 5, where we're, helping people to become, product users, distributors. So everything is a skill set that builds on top. So I want to make sure, last time that we had our training, we really did a question and answer. A lot of people weren't caught up. If you're watching this one right now, but you haven't started, and I'll pull the Learn to Go Pro up kind of at the end, just make sure that you're building on top of skill set upon skill set. A brain surgeon is not going to go in and immediately cut something, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully he's going to learn where the veins in the brain are, right? So just make sure that we're taking time to really build upon skill. And so that way we're going to best serve the people that we're speaking with, that we're using our tools and everything like that. So I just wanted to reiterate that before we dive in, because then we'll just have one more training of this series. But then what's so great is that you can use this site, because again, we do refer a lot. This isn't to replace Isagenix business. This isn't to replace the boot camp with Isagenix. This is just really because we do use so much of the product page. We refer to that a lot, a lot more on the Facebook or social media aspect of it and stuff too. So it's just kind of to tie it in and just give that little extra of really how I've been and what I take my team through. That's really been beneficial for everybody. So the first thing is kind of how we always talk about too, if somebody's going to get started or not, or when we ask, are you ready to get started, or is this something that you're ready to do? Guys, we've got to be emotionally detached. This isn't about us. This is about people being fearful that it might not work for them, or maybe they're fearful of network marketing, right? So just really kind of remember that aspect of it. And just really though, think about this. When I talk to somebody about Isagenix, where's my posture? What's your posture, right? Am I in a posture of getting someone, or am I in a posture of helping someone? Am I being, am I trying to be interesting and tell them all about me and my story and what I'm doing and what I'm looking to do for people? Or am I being interested in them and asking them questions, right? And then truly, I do believe when somebody gets Isagenix, they also get me. And I am so committed to Isagenix to becoming better, that, that's something that I also often promote to people and talk to people about, is that, I'm going to be their coach. And so when you talk to somebody, are you able to say that with a posture of, you get me, right? Being prepared is just being prepared. It is having information. Do you know how to use your app on your phone where you can enroll someone right there? Do you have maybe enrollment forms? Are you always ready, at an event, at a presentation? Maybe can you just roll out some enrollment forms? Do you have them printed? Let's be prepared, right? Top entrepreneurs are always going to be prepared. Then let's think about questions. First off, I want to ask a question and make sure that everybody can absolutely see my screen. Could Liz or Debbie, could you shake your head yes if you can see it? Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Just the better we get at questions. There's a book called The Magic of Asking the Right Questions by Bill Maher. You guys, that is such a great book. If you're really maybe get stumbled upon what questions to ask, I really highly encourage that one. And there's nothing wrong, kind of fake it till you make it, right? As long as we're practicing to become better and we're not being what we call the poser, right? The poser aspect. When we're really doing these things and we're practicing, just we keep getting better and better as we go, and that is totally okay. So also what I loved in the GoPro book, because again, this is all from GoPro. My book's over there. I'm going to have to leave the camera for a minute and get my book. Forgot to get it. I literally just got in the door. Is, what did you think is a question that we often, or asking questions that lead into a positive direction. So did it make sense to you? What did you like best? I love saying, what did you like best about what they saw? Because then they're going to remember what they liked best. And that's what I want to know. That's what I want to talk to them about. So I can, really pull more from that of what excited them about it, or what they feel like resonated with them. So then I can go into more about that. Saying something like pretty exciting, isn't it? Then seeing kind of what they say, because that's leading into a positive direction. Can you see how this product, the opportunity, can change your life? Now in the GoPro book, it pretty much is just all about almost opportunity and kind of distributors aspect. And it doesn't really focus so much on the product. We are so blessed with Isagenix in the network marketing industry, because the product is, oh, right. I mean, 82.5% of people are just product users. But really, like, how can this product change your life, right? Like, really ask that, because that's going to lead into a more why. So if you think about, like, people say, all right, well, how do you close? Honestly, it's from the very first time we start talking. And if you think about, like, product users, I really want to know what the value is, not what's the best, what's the cheapest pack to get started with. No. What's the best value to get started with for you, for their goals? And Eric Worre, he talked about 1 to 10, how ready you get started, 10 being most, 1 being least. That way you can gauge someone, maybe how much more information they're going to need, how many stories, how much more support, right? Something like that. I also love, like, what has you from getting started today? That is a great question. Like, why not get started today? Okay, well, if you could, would you? Well, why can't, so just really kind of just elaborating on those things. Too, realistic expectations on the commitment. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Let's talk about a 30-day system. So somebody tells me they don't want to stop drinking wine on their 30-day system. Okay, you don't have to, right? You just told me that you were a 10 committed, and that, this goal would allow you to have self-confidence. You haven't wanted to be intimate with your husband with the lights on in how many years, right? Like something like that, but yet, you don't want to give up wine. Okay, just for 30 days to see. You don't have to, but let me set a realistic expectation for you. The clinical trials show this, right? Everybody's body is different. Like, sure, we always want to be compliant with disclaimers, but not saying, oh yeah, you're gonna have the great results that everybody in the group is. No, setting that realistic expectation so that they know, right? Two, as far as the income opportunity, this is not a get in, enroll 2 people, sit back, relax, anything like that. This is an opportunity. I am very, very real with people when I talk to them about the amount of time, the amount of due diligence, the amount of, self-improvement that it's gonna take to be successful in this business. I want us all to get our GoPro book in page 98. Mine's over here in the corner. Hold, please. All right, because this really, I thought, was absolutely phenomenal. I'm staying in some bunk beds with my little buddy here down in Alabama, Lindsay Kramer. All right. So, you really think about, like, based on what you've just seen, if you were ready to get started on this part-time basis, approximately how much would you need to earn per month in order to make this worth your time? Instead of asking the question, most distributors say things like, how would you like to make $10,000 a month? Don't do that. Instead of prescribing what you think they want, just ask them what would make it worth their time. And then too, and then we're going to really go into this on the new associate interview too, it's important for us to ask somebody how many hours they have to work this. If you tell me you want to earn $50,000 in a year, right, in a year's time, 60, 90 days, 6 months in a year, if I'm asking you about your goals for that, and $50,000 in a year is your goal, but you're only able to devote 10 hours a week to this in part-time, and you want to get a $50,000 residual income, really, really in thinking about that, like, I have to just really lay it out for people as far as, look, we got great upfront bonuses, but let's talk about, like, what is that in cycles, really to get to that. So it's being, it's really about just laying it out for people and being honest and realistic so that they have some expectations that they can meet. One of the things that I really love too is how many months would you work for those kind of hours in order to develop that kind of income? This question makes them think about their level of commitment if they want the income from question number 1. So I say, okay, let's say $50,000, what if it didn't happen in a year? Would you still be committed, and would you still continue to put 10 hours in until you absolutely hit that? So that way, I can kind of see where they stand too. But if I could show you how to develop an income of whatever they said, per month, working whatever they said as far as hours over the course of, and then we can inject, if those, we'd have to correct the months if they're being unrealistic, and we make it more realistic for them. Would you be ready to get started? Like, or building this business, right? So something like that is just really powerful to make sure that we do set those up for people. But again, guys, we always have to ask somebody too, are you ready to get started? If we don't ask, are you ready to get started? I've been on some calls with people, and it goes, and I remember me, that used to, like, I never would ask, all right, are you ready to get started? I like to say chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookies and cream, chocolate, strawberry mix. How do we want to get this order in? After I get done with the conversation, I expect people to order when I'm on the phone with them. It's an expectation that I have. And even in this book, he's like, people are, professionals. They might be kind of shocked if you don't want to get started. And if you're committed, and I show you the reallocation of this, I am very shocked when somebody doesn't think that it's for them. So I want to talk to you guys too about this. 82.5% of our business is product users only. And when I was at, make sure you guys can see it. When I was at, blessed to be at Top Achievers, because I'm so blessed with such an incredible team and leaders on my team. You guys, we are only as great as we make our team great. Truly, I just really love your team. But 82.5% of our business is product users. And for me, someone who's really gotten into business coaching, I feel like I, for a while, was frustrated with cleanse coaching. Have I always done it? Have I always made sure to check in on people? Absolutely. But it was almost like I wasn't enjoying it as much anymore as the beginning. And then I started to think about how great is it to get those messages of somebody transforming their health, feeling better, getting their kids have their mom again, right? Like all of those things I had kind of let slide in. And Tracy O'Malley stood up and she said, you better love those product users. You better love cleanse coaching. And I had to evaluate myself. How well would I rate myself as a cleanse coach? And not just if I'm well, do I enjoy it? Because here's the thing, I better enjoy that cleanse coaching, because that residual income that's coming to me, that is coming from all the people doing cleanse coaching. That is from me teaching people how to cleanse coach by being a good cleanse coach. So when they decide they want to share this, so I really where are we on cleanse coaching? Are we checking in with our people? Just think about how many people that you have in your organization that just started as a product user, nothing to do with business. So I really want to remind everyone, product when it really starts when you're introducing someone, because you never know that person that has an insane product experience, how they can become a business builder too, if that's what they choose. But 82.5% of what's coming in to our pockets is from product users. So I just love our product users. And that was a really reality for me to really get back into the place and being grateful and loving it, instead of being like, oh my gosh, so-and-so's having detox symptoms. Like I got to do this. Oh my gosh, they're having detox symptoms. Let me love on them. Okay. So really that was powerful for me, because we do. I mean, think about all the, I don't know if you guys have ever done it. I've bought leads before. I've spent money to put things in ads and calendars, in like wellness program, little calendars or free things that are handed out in certain communities. I've spent money, thousands of dollars to have things, and I didn't have a good turnaround in it. I love social media and just connecting and making friends. I have found that to go much better, but I did do that in the beginning. And so spending all that effort and money and energy on trying to have people come and join us. But then what do? Right? If they join us, if we're not doing our part, now there's a complete difference. And we're going to talk about the difference between us doing our part and them having to do their part, as long as we're doing our part. But are we just trying to enroll people and then be a sponsor monster and enroll? That's not what this is about. This is about loving people, truly loving people. And so, that's, I also want to really talk about that new associate interview. When I spoke to Kathy Coover, she said it was the number one thing that I could do. And I was very bad. I didn't do the new associate interview for a very, very, very long time, years in Isogenics. I felt like I was being intrusive. I didn't want to ask personal questions. I didn't want to get into such detail, right? Especially for a new person or something like that. But I have found that I was robbing people once I really understood and I started using it and incorporating it. And will every single person do it with me? No, but I'm doing my part and I'm asking every single person to do it, right? So, really too, when you start somebody, I loved what Eric Worre said, just, are we validating people's decisions? Like, oh my gosh, you just made the greatest decision of your life. This changed my life. Congratulations for you. So many people are not willing to make a change. And, in 2-3 years, they're going to be exactly where they were. But you are taking your life in your own hands and your control, and you're making a change. And again, setting up those expectations, guiding, matching energy for energy. I'm very, very big on that. So let's talk about product users. So when I have a product user, right, let's take business aside. There's the health interview aspect of it. And we're going to actually look at it on the website. So I'm not going to get into too much detail, but, always to take, even before I say, do you want to get your products paid for? Do you have accountability? Do you have a support system? Let's talk about accountability. Did you know people were far more successful with accountability than with your product, or just doing it by themselves? Sorry, I just saw a chat. Awesome, Katie. So, did you know that? I want you to be successful in these products. You just told me if you got 30 pounds off you, or if you had more energy and could actually sleep through the night and woke up not just feeling absolutely exhausted every day, like what would be different in your life? I want to make that happen for you, because you're going to get all their goals in the health interview. Okay. So let's get you some accountability. How can we do that? Right. Also, there's a number 6 in the health interview where it talks about who they would love to have them join on this thing. Right. Just make sure you go over that, but let's get a post out there on Facebook. Let's really, we're not saying this worked, we're not saying anything, we're just asking for people to support you, and if anybody would want to join you, and that's it. Where it's going to be non-pressury, not message me now, we don't have to do any of that. We want to put it out there. Are you open to that? I want you to be successful. Okay, so that's the first step before I even talk about products paid for, that I personally do. So absolutely, I'm always going to make sure too. Awesome, you're open to doing that. How would you like to get your products paid for, right? And you might know a lot of this from the initial conversation. Hopefully you do too, but maybe if they're just ready to go or something like that, but still, remind them, can I show you how to get your products paid for? I'm morally obligated to show you some time-sensitive bonuses. And if they don't want to hear anything about it, guess what I'm not going to do? Talk to them more about it. They're going to go on my little love list, right? And I'm going to follow up with them. And I'm going to remind them after their first 3 days, I'm going to check in with them. I'm doing proper cleanse coaching, right? They're definitely in our product coaching group. So when somebody is open for accountability or just getting their products paid for some referrals, I like to make sure that they know how to do a 3-way call, because that's the only thing that they really need to know how to do. They need to know how to use the product page, how to add people in there. I personally don't, as far as with our team, we just, with our product page, we like people to come in kind of with people, just so that they can educate them on too. That's kind of how we do it, but just follow whatever your team's product page kind of guidelines is. Just follow that as far as, making sure they know how to use it, or if they can add people or whatnot. And then a 3-way call and a 3-way message. And I'm going to take away the pressure. This person has not talked about, this is an accountability and a share. Let's say this is not a business builder, right? They don't want to do the business. They're open to getting some rebates. They would love accountability, but they don't want to do the business. If I sit there and send them to, all right, go through isagenixbusiness.com, go to learnpro.com, and go through all this stuff, I listened to nothing what they told me. We have to not make our goals their goals. Do I want every single person that comes in because Isagenix has transformed my life at the business level? Absolutely, right? But if they're not ready and they can't even think about, they're so tired, they're working 2 jobs, they're stressed to the max, they're scared to death about leaving the house on a cleanse day on their first one, but they're open just because they want this to work so bad to having some accountability. And here I am, I'm going to put them in my business group. I'm going to put them nice to, no. No, you guys, we have to meet people where they are. Don't overload your accountability people and your sharers. Don't assume that is somebody who wants to be a business builder. Maybe they would down the road if we love them and walk them through and easily guide them there. Okay? So just that's the only thing that I make sure that people who want accountability and casually share it. They don't want to build this business. They're too busy. They don't have time. I don't overload them, because what do I do if they told me they were too busy and I still want them to watch all this stuff? Hello, right? So, all right. So business builders. Now, this is somebody, I still take them through all the steps that I do with accountability and shares. It still all starts there, right? But again, setting the proper expectations we kind of talked about. And then, of course, in the new associate interview, we're going to go through to talk about what we all did. And again, our job is just to guide them, to create independence. I love that. I want to make my people as independent as possible. Now, do I love all my people? And when I get nucleuses somewhere, when I get a good little nucleus somewhere, I do often travel there. I want to meet people. I want them to see me, my commitment to them. So I do that. But I also make sure that I have the leaders there that have been growing it, making it grow, that it's self-sufficient with or without me, because that's truly what leverage is too. And ups and downs. Oftentimes, I always tell people, you're going to have some wall kicking moments where you're probably going to want to quit when you start this, right? They've gotten started. They're on the system. We're talking about the business. I say, you're probably going to have some of those moments. I know I did. I am so grateful that I reached out to Callie Miller that one time, that I almost went inside because I was just overwhelmed. Has anybody ever felt overwhelmed before in this business? And, I'm so grateful that I did not, because my life would be totally different. I wouldn't have half the people in my life that make my life so rich. They're my very best friends. And I wouldn't have this kind of freedom. I wouldn't have been able to change so many lives, right? But prepare somebody for their ups and downs. And I love how Eric Worre does it in the book. And I hope you read that part where he says, just let me know how I can best coach you through that. And I always let them know, if you don't experience that at some point, you probably haven't, maybe not to the edge of like, should I quit? Should I keep going? If you don't experience this sometimes, especially getting started, or you don't feel, you're probably not doing enough to where you told me that you want to create a multiple six-figure income. If you don't have downs, you're not doing enough. Because this is learning. So being honest, set that up. So when the time comes and in 6 months they go through it, and they're not maybe picking up the phone or showing up, they remember you telling them that, and they think, you know what, I'm doing enough. Okay, so just remember that. I saw Lisa Grossman at a GoPro event. This changed my life. I want to do everything for everybody. I want to help everybody. I want to be there for everybody. But you can't, especially as your team gets big and you got, amazing leaders throughout your organization. But I look back at what I've had, some amazing mentors, but none of my mentors did one thing for me. Not one, right? Like, three-way calls, absolutely. But as far as, planning events, launch parties, things like that, they come to my no, right? I was doing it, but they were helping me and guiding me. And I had so much guidance, Jennifer would help me with three-way calls and really taught me just about like the hard work aspect of it. Callie Miller, so kind, educating me on the 4-year career and the Detoxify or Die book. And then of course, my dear, dear mentors, Lenny Evans and Dave MacArthur and Rhonda Collier. And Lenny and Dave taught me so brilliantly how to love people. But this can change your business. All right. So I will draw this out for somebody now. And this is for a business builder. This has nothing to do with people who just want to share it casually. This is when somebody's come to me and they want to build this business. They have their system, everything, we're rocking and rolling. I can help. I say, I want you to draw out, I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to draw out some words. Okay. So on the first line, I want you to write out, I can help. On the second line, I want you to write out you. On the third line, I want you to write out, build your business. Now, here's the thing, right? Everything that comes before you, that's above you, I can do. What can I do? I can help. Everything that comes after you is your job. You have to do that. I cannot. You build your business. If you are not doing your part, I don't have a part to do. Because even if I can do some here and some there, like I cannot build anybody's business. I've been blood, sweat, and tearing over my own business, right? Exchanging a lot of, time with people that I love dearly and would like to see more, right? Too, for my business. So you think about that, we can only help. And so you are just a guide. You are not responsible for anybody's business throughout your organization. You're not responsible for one person's of it. They're all responsible. But our responsibility is to be the mentor and to guide them and to set this realistic expectation for them that we can't do it for them, right? So really that changed my life. So the game plan that he talks about, I absolutely love. First off and foremost, guys, again, how it started, get accountability, because your product story is more important than anything else. Be a product of the product. Do you love these products? Are you in love with them? Can you imagine going off these products? I personally cannot. We have so many tools, our product pages, Movie, Isagenix Health, Isagenix Business, Isa Sales Tools. If you have a team website, the Isagenix To Go app, all of those things, we have to make sure that we've set up time, that we've educated them on all of those things. Now, I always can make sure my distributors are connected to other people on the team. And I always make sure that somebody they're financially linked to. Is this one team across the board? Absolutely it is. But there is something powerful about connecting people who are financially linked. I love it too if they share legs and they leverage each other too. But even if they don't, they're going to be connected with somebody in their upline that if I'm away or if I'm busy or if I'm doing trainings and, you know, consuming something and they have a question, I want to make sure that they have a group of people. And I don't just stop at one either. I like to make sure that there's at least 2 people in addition to myself that a new person is connected to. They've talked to them, they have their phone number, they're on Facebook in messages with them, not just like, here, friend this person. No, they're connected to where they could easily feel comfortable with texting or calling that person with any question. Okay, and again, if it's a financially linked person, that person has a lot of interest in helping them. Okay, so that's first and foremost too. You know, also too, do they know what's going on? Do they know about launch parties, virtual Zooms that we're doing? Do they know about events, local events? Do we know about like isagenixevents.com? Have we been there? Like what's really going on? And do you have a calendar of what's going on? I have a calendar for my team of what's going on. You know, I do calls personally for my team, what's going on. Like I hope everybody, if you have 1 person, 2 people, and you're not a part of like a big team or something, create it. That's, you know, everybody's created teams. So it just, if you don't feel like you have this huge team or support or whatever, we can all create our own. A basic understanding of the history in the company, just like kind of how we did in the 2nd series training, where it was all about getting that belief up, right? So getting that belief up. So making sure also, I like to ask too, especially nowadays, like what's more important to you? Do you care really about $10,000 in promotional bonuses, or do you really care about $700,000 residual income? Me personally, I care a lot about $700,000 residual income more than I care about bonuses. However, right, I make sure that I show all the upfront money, and do I still assist people and, you know, mentoring them to have upfront bonuses? Absolutely, I do. If somebody's, you know, putting the food on the table, depends on upfront bonuses. Yeah, I'm going to focus on that. But for me, I get excited about the 6% residual, unlimited depth, right? Up to $700,000 a year. When you're executive, you can match that. That's $1.4 million. That's what excites me. So that's really what I talk about a lot, but I make sure that they have a general understanding, but I want to cast the entire vision. So I don't know what it is that you do, but maybe think about making sure. I have found with business builders that if I can make sure they understand the whole vision and not just some upfront PIBs, bonuses, like tell me how in 5 years this is going to impact their kid's life, right? In 15 years, how it's going to impact their kid's life. Like to me, that's more powerful, but I make sure they have a general understanding of everything. And just too, you want to make sure that they know how to properly invite people to take a look. So make sure that you've gone over with them all the things that we've been going over through right now. Don't spam people, right? Don't have Isagenix all over your Facebook page and every other post about Isagenix, right? The 1041. You know, don't just as soon as you connect with somebody, Isagenix right there, build rapport, right? Making sure that they understand those types of things. I mean, the first thing that I have when somebody wants to build, I make sure that I really focus on social media with them too. That is just the easiest way to go about doing it. And I want them to start out right. I personally started out wrong, where I was basically telling people they needed to detoxify or die. Totally non-compliant, I'm sure now. That book, man, it got me. But so just, you know, are we taking our people through there? Are we showing them how to use our product page? Or are we just putting them in there and expecting them to know how to do it? Remember how much time we've spent on 1041, on printing out our list, on connecting with somebody. Now we have them enrolled. They want to build the business. Let me just throw you into the product page, rock that product page, add people to it. Okay, what does that mean, right? So really, really taking all that into account. Like, I always like to ask people, are you comfortable with our product page? Do you have any questions about anything that I've sent you or any of the training on our product page to where you don't feel comfortable with adding somebody and giving them the initial information to learn how they can navigate it and a little bit about our system or following on? Do you have any questions about that? Because that's what I want to know first, because that's the easiest way that we kind of use to just transition people into the world of getting educated on Isagenix. It's very duplicatable. So that's something that I really, really do take time. I take the time to go over that with people. All right. So this too, and we're going to really talk about events on the next one in really masterful ways as far as getting people there and things like that. That's our last training, which is in just some little, some going over some things. But, you know, it's just, if somebody tells me they have 10 hours, but they're really committed, right? Like, I mean, truly, but they only have 10 hours that they can truly commit to this business. I want to talk to them about laundry. I want to talk to them about dishes. I want to talk to them about drive time. I want to talk to them about TV time. I want to talk to them about, you know, all any extracurricular activities. And I want to talk about, like, you know, when they're at basketball games, baseball games, like with their kids, watching their kids play sports. I want to know all these things. Okay. So when I know how, so that way we can set the schedule up. Okay. So I'm going to say, when you're at ball games, when you're at the bleachers, and make sure you sit by other people. Don't just go sit by yourself and on your phone. You can be on your phone late at night connecting with people. You're around people right now, new people. I want you to go sit by people at all times and strike up a conversation, right? Form, family, from, occupation, recreation, right? Maybe have some product, using product in public, but just sit by them. Maybe having your story down, right? I want you to have your story. So that way, when you're sitting there and having a conversation, if a problem comes up, oh my gosh, my friend Stacy was just like that too. You know, she was super exhausted after you're talking to a mom or something. You know, we go through the whole thing. You would love this group that I'm in, right? Oh my gosh, that reminds me of so-and-so, right? So, and then adding them to the group. So right there, so you might be at a basketball game or something of your kids, but see how you can still use that to network or get comfortable asking questions or just talking to people, okay? So even though that might not be part of that dedicated 10 hours that they have when they're able to be dedicated in front of their computer, we're still able to incorporate things outside of that time, right? So 2, you're driving. Great. How long do you drive from work every day? 30 minutes. You got an hour a day of training. That's an additional hour on top of that 10. So I don't want you to have, so now I'm going to set them up with Isogenics podcast, right? I'm going to make sure maybe Mechanic to Millionaire for talking personal development. I'm really going to take them through how they can use that time to do those things in those pockets. You know, when you're doing laundry and you're doing the dishes, I want the headset on and I want you listening to something. I want you going over isogenicsbusiness.com, right? Even if you're not visually watching it, I want you to listen to it over and over again, certain videos, okay? So that's cool. This also changed my life, the rule of 3, watching what people do. I'm committed. I'm all in and I want to help everybody, but I also have to respect myself. I have to respect my husband and I have to respect the people who are all committed and all in, that they have my time too, over people who think that they're committed, but they're just not yet, which is okay. They might get there one day. You know, if I ask somebody to make a list and next time I talk to them, there's no list made. That's kind of rule 1. Okay. I say, oh, totally get it. Things come up, life happens, we're all busy, right? Again, all right, well, I'll tell you what, when can you have that list, you know, by, again, they give me a date. It's 2 weeks out. Totally get it. Write it down. 2 weeks goes by, follow up. Hey, you know, just following up. We're going to talk about that list. Nothing, right? I say, you know, one more time, we'll do it. If it's not, you guys, that's it, right? Like I have nothing left. If they are not building their business, I cannot help them, right? Again, this is not a product user or a sharer or somebody looking for accountability. This is somebody who comes and says they want to build this business. When I tell a share or somebody wants accountability, I want you to make a list. No, I'm not going to put that pressure on them, right? This is somebody who really, now if somebody really wants to get their products paid for, like truly, you know, not just sharing it and some referrals, absolutely. I'm going to say, well, you know, that'll be a little in between of this, but I just watch what people do. And that will let me know their commitment level. You never, in the beginning, you want to assess it, but I can tell you after working with people for a short time, what their commitment level is. And majority of the time people think that their commitment is way more than what it is, but you know, it's okay. Things change. So let's go check it out. All right. Okay. So right here is where we are. And I want to make sure if I could get somebody to say a yes, that they can see this screen. Liz, I see your face. Can you tell me yes if you can see the actual Learn to Go Pro? Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Deanna. Okay, so this is the video that you're watching right here. This one's right here. So helping people get started right. So, all right, we want to determine their goal. Why do they want to achieve this goal? We want to ask questions, you know, again, assess the commitment level. We use the tools that we talked about, making sure we ask, are you ready to get started? If they're not ready, assess the additional information that's needed. And then until ready, then follow up. And then just have your calendar. Everybody has different, you have to find a system that works for you. I'm in the process of becoming organized and still finding systems that work for me. I have recently discovered something called Evernote, and I am not the one to teach anybody on it, but I am slowly learning it myself. I have been pushing and screaming with going against electronical thing. I keep saying I'm paper and pen, then I see, y'all have all these different notebooks and all these calendars. Evernote is changing my life. Check it out, you guys. So anyways, how are you following up with people? What's your system of following up with people? They say the fortune's in the follow-up. However, I also do not beat a dead horse. So, there's things like, and again, maybe they'll be ready in a year. Maybe I'll come back to them. Hey, I know timing, you said it wasn't right for me. Maybe I'll follow up with you in 6 months or something, right? Really, the Eric Worre book, I mean, this is why we want this book, right? Because it's just so amazing. And again, we want to set people up for success with the best pack for their goals. And again, I don't like to set people up for what's the cheapest value. What's the best value for your goals? You said that this is your goal. Let's get you the best value to make that possible. And then again, our proper coaching. So here we have our website. I'm going to move this over here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the new associate interview. So here's the health goals, right? And this is, you can come here and you can click here. It's on Isagenix Business. It's everywhere. And you're asking somebody what their thing is. And again, I like everybody to be in the ISOVI challenge too, but if all we can do is encourage and show them how, right? Like just here's the link, here's how you get on and do it. If people do it, awesome. We just have to do our part, right? But again, we want to all this, you guys, make sure they're in the support groups. When people have a community, it's just so important. Even if they don't have accountability, that support group of your community online is absolutely so powerful. I like to send not only a welcome email, I like to send them a welcome text. I'm going to go over the new associate interview here in a minute. Because think about this, 90% of emails are deleted. How many of us have this awesome team welcome email? It's all sweet and awesome. Mine's about yay long. I used to have one that was like 3 pages. Now it's this long. And I send them the welcome email, but then what I do is I send them a welcome text. I have a video for my team where I welcome them. And that's what the video is. And, so that I send that in the welcome text. And then I also ask them how to do 3 things. To watch that welcome video. Then I send them their username, password, everything, right? Either Facebook Messenger or text, right? Not just an email, because email gets deleted. How to do a 30-day system, how to do a cleanse day, and how to do a shake day. Those are the 3 things that I want them to watch, because if they watch that, then I know that they're going to be successful. I also like to make sure that they have access to foods to say yes to and foods to say no to. And then also as far as snack options, those are what I want to make sure that they have so that they can have their best product experience. And I like to say, have you watched that? As long as I'm doing my part, that's what counts, right? As long as we're doing our part and we're giving that information. So don't just get somebody enrolled and then not make sure that they see how to do a 30-day system. Now, whether or not they're committed to doing it or not, that's not on us either, right? As long as we're doing it. All right. So ask if they would like the accountability, products paid for, crystal bonuses, income opportunity, right? Again, we went over kind of all that. Take steps according to their response. Again, do not make our goals. If somebody tells me they just want to do the products and they don't want to do the business, and I really am pushing this business down their throat before I've even tried to help coach them and for them to have an incredible experience on the products, I have just completely made my goals their goals because I'm a business builder and I need a rank advancement. So I need you to get 2 people. You guys, no, right? Love them. Let them be a product user. Let them experience maybe what you experienced when you came in. Let them have that product user experience to where maybe they're not worried about having to post on Facebook or get people or have to learn new things. Let them be a product user. There's such a beauty in somebody experiencing product user, especially for their first 2 weeks. Then absolutely, we're going to reevaluate because they're going to feel so freaking awesome. They got to share it. But again, we're not going to be that, oh, you have to. All right. So again, product user wise, I'm going to connect them. I want to connect them with somebody who's, let's say it's somebody who wants to lose weight. They want to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to connect them with somebody who's lost 30 pounds in the group, in the team. They're going to be connected with somebody that has achieved the goal that they want to achieve. And then the 14-day talk. I don't know if you guys have seen Tracy O'Malley's 14-day talk. It's absolutely epic. Preparing people, just like how you're going to prepare them for ups or downs in this business, and it's not an overnight success. We're going to prepare them for detox symptoms. You might feel like crap your first week, straight up. Let me tell you, I had a raging headache, when I first started Isagenix. I don't know if it's because I was coming off all that caffeine I was on, but we want to set them up with that understanding that they might, you know, they're in the group and they're seeing how everybody have all these amazing experiences and they're feeling great and whatnot. But the reality is, let me tell you, if you start to feel tired, just cranky, or, you know, you're just, maybe your head hurts a little bit, you know, maybe a little upset stomach, let me just tell you, that might mean that you're really, really deserving of, it doesn't mean, it means that you're really, really deserving if you're experiencing that, and setting them up to know that they might have some not fun times on their first week, but that it's okay. A lot of people have experienced that, and let them talk about, we let our people talk about it in the group. We let them talk about it in the group, and we coach them through it in public, right? Even people watching it, we show our customer service. So also the back office and auto ship. Are we going over the back office with them, or are we just sending them a link and saying, have fun with it? Right now, I personally also have a video for the back office too. Isagenix has, and if you go to help tutorials, there's a video on how to, you know, do your back office. Are you showing people that? The help tutorials. Are you showing them where the 480 number is if they had questions or needed help with their auto ship and you couldn't be there for them, or if they wanted to return or exchange? Do they know where that information is? Do they know where resources are, where that's how they can get into the IsaBody challenge? Have we taken that time to go over it? We've taken all this time to get them in. Have we taken the time to go over that? The IsaBody challenge, 80% retention rate. And I am somebody that deserves more people that I have brought in to this to make sure that they're in the IsaBody challenge. And it's something recently that I just started, really, when I started the new associate interview in the IsaBody challenge. I'd mentioned it to everybody, but I wasn't like, you should really, like, come on, are you in the IsaBody challenge? Like, following up for people who said that they were going to join it, right? If somebody said, no, I don't want to join it, I'm not going to join it, stop talking to me about it, I wouldn't be talking to them about it. But for somebody who really wants their goal, because again, it's accountability, it's staying accountable. So make sure that you're talking about that. All right. Know when their first cleanse day is. Whatever method that you use to follow up, make sure that that's a cleanse day, that you know when their first cleanse day is, so that you can message them. Oh my gosh, are you still cleansing today? We like to celebrate our people in the group. You know, Katie's having her first cleanse day today. Do you guys remember your first cleanse day? How was your first one? And then where are you now? Right? So she can see that. And then there's going to be some negatives. There's going to be some positives. And there's going to be on the other side. So if she has any issues, right? And then a weekend after they've had their 7 days, you know, hopefully they've had that shift that, you know, for sure they've had it like 2 weeks in. And then, you know, I like to do at least a week out. I like to do it too. Like initially when I talk to them, I like to make sure they know how to do their auto ship, but just, you know, too, I have down, okay, look who's auto ship, and just remember, I'm not responsible for anybody's auto ship now. And I do not recommend anybody to be responsible for anybody's auto ship, right? That is not, nobody wants that responsibility. And we shouldn't have to have that responsibility. People deserve to be responsible. But, you know, just make sure that they know how to do their auto ship. And on the first, did you have any questions, right? That's important. That's very important. Now, two, throughout this progress, right, you talk to them, and 2 weeks in, they are freaking loving it. Now, this person, they didn't want accountability because they didn't want anybody to know what they were doing. And they didn't care about getting rebates. They didn't care at all, right? Nothing. But I'm going to reassess that. I'm going to reassess, because now that you know that you have never felt so good in your life, that you're achieving these goals, you finally slept through the night. I talked to a gentleman the other day. He said, oh my gosh, I finally slept through the night. Like, you don't know what that's like. I only got up 1 time instead of 5 times, right? He's like, I'm waking up an hour before my alarm clock and I'm actually rested. That is changing his life. Okay, so now, not to mention, he's down like 40-something pounds, but he wants to share it. He morally wants to share it, to where in the beginning, no really interest. Now, what if we had forced him and really pushed on him, oh, make a post, make a post, make a post. He might not have even been so open to that first week when he was feeling bad and getting some amazing coaching from Shelby, right? So you think about that, you guys, but reassess. You feel that good. How would you like to help somebody else have that same type of experience that you just had? How would you like that? Right? Let me help you help your friend. I personally like to, there's a generic one on isagenixbusiness.com that you can really use, which is great too. I personally, when I have somebody that's going to share for the first time, I type up what exactly for them to post. I say, if it doesn't sound like you, I want you to change it. Are you okay with this? Does this make sense once I have their story? Because I know how to make it curiosity creating, right? So I personally like to do that for my people. And just to help them. I mean, we're here to help them. Do I make all their posts? No, but their first one after they've had this story and make it compliant and help them with that, for sure I do, to where they don't put isogenics all over it. Yes, I do. So reassess that, reassess it. All right. So here we have the IsaBody and healthy mind. I love this question right here on the health goals. Tell me about, do you have stress in your life? Okay. If they say yes, why do you have stress? What's a stressor in your life? You're going to love the Ionic Supreme. Kids, maybe their job, they're tired all the time. They don't feel like there's enough time in the day, whatever it is. Oftentimes though, with stress, it's usually their job. Or they're working a lot. Well, why are you working so much? Oh, I got bills, vacations are great for stress. When was the last time you took a vacation? Why can't I take vacations? That stress question can lead you into something powerful. And I want you to make notes. So when you come back to reassess and they've had an amazing product experience, right? Or as you go through and you show them the bonuses and that's something that interests them, they're interested in accountability, getting their products paid for, you can bring that back in. That stress question is a really good dig question. And then why? Why do they want to achieve their goal? We all talk about the why in the business. What's the why in the health? What is the why in the health? Okay. So really don't make sure that you know that, and you can bring that back when they're having this insane crappy first cleanse, right? You can bring this back. To them. And then who's the support team? And again, I like to connect my people. I like to make sure they're connected with somebody, that goal, everything. So just make sure they have that support team. And then here's that number 6 that I was talking about earlier. When they have this person, to make sure then that I have reached out to those people with them if they want to join them on this health journey. Now, if they won't connect me, that is what it is, but that. And then I just like to make sure to ISA product and Isagenix Health, those are our product user things. All right. Accountability and sharing. So let's say that somebody's open from the beginning, or they've gotten here, they've had a great experience. So now we're going to be, sharing. There we go. So I like to do, not only do I assist them with their initial post, I like to assist them with their Facebook setting. Again, 3-way calls, 3-way messages. I want to make sure they know how to do that. And then 2, they're going to be educated on how to add somebody and welcome people to our product page. I'm going to help them cleanse coach their first few people. I'm personally going to let them watch me do their first 2-3 people, make sure, do it with them, right? Not me do it, but do it with them. Be a part of it with them so that they can learn. So that's really important too. And then, again, and then I'm going to assess their interest. If they're open to sharing it, again, I'm going to assess their interest in the full opportunity. If not interested, I'm going to say, I share stories of others who have successfully transformed their family's destiny. But that a story is going to sell if it ever speaks to you, because I always like to understand, I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Same thing with everything else. And, you kind of just remind me so much of Laura Stevens. I don't know if it's just that you're blonde and beautiful like she is, but she too, just like how you were, she was exhausted, a mom of 3. She's also a military wife. And you just remind me so much. And she just retired her husband, and you just remind me of her. And so I just really thought that I would ask. But again, if it ever speaks to you, let me know, and I'll send you some more information, on really the whole vision and the compensation plan. Well, let's bless some people with their health. I'm not going to push it. Now too, if somebody does love the product, or they're open to accountability and sharing, I still am going to ask them for referrals if they know anybody who might not only be interested in the product, but also the income opportunity that they could refer to me. Look, I know you're not trying to build this business, but do you know anybody? I still like referral. Because some people, they don't, but if they knew that all they'd have to do is refer it, right? So, so that's, and just continuously reassess the goals. Now, these are what I have accountability people and sharers make sure that they know. That they know how to have their settings on Facebook so we can drive the most support, that they know how to do a 3-way message and a 3-way call, and that this is just how they will get their products paid for, that they will get referral money, and things like that, right? So that's just really the basic. Again, I'm not sending them to isagenixbusiness.com. They're not, do they have the isagenixbusiness.com in their email and things like that? Have I asked them about it numerous amount of times? Yes, absolutely. But it's not something that I push. It's just, I like to meet people where they are. All right. Business builders. And again, I talked about this earlier. Many of us confuse share and accountability with a business builder. And again, many people say that they want to build a business, but they don't get properly educated on what does that mean, right? What does it mean to build this business? It means that it's work. Is it work worth doing? Absolutely. So let's just make sure that we are going through this and, and just asking these questions, you guys. And as you ask these questions, you're going to get to know people, and does it always pan out too? And, people come in and some people go faster than others and some people struggle more than others. Yes, it is. But, I'm also a firm believer that everybody's experience in their past and what they've been through then allows them to come in. And that's why we never know what's going on like behind closed doors either. So I just want to invite everybody to release comparison and things like that for sure. And make sure that we talk to people about that too, because that's really important. And just as long as we're improving and we're taking consistent daily action, but just make sure that you're going through this. And if somebody can't take the time to fill this out, if somebody tells me they want to earn 6 figures, they want to retire themselves, they want to quit their jobs, but they can't take 15 minutes to fill out a new associate interview so that I can properly have information on how to guide them, they're not a business builder. They're not, right? Because somebody that's really it and they're really committed, they're just maybe they think that they're more committed. Now, still, I'll meet people where they are. I don't just drop people out by any means, but, there's just that difference of how engaged that I'm going to be with someone. And I invite everybody to really think about that too. And are you trying to pull people along? Are you pulling people? Are you can pull one, but you can run with 1,000. That really changed my business when I just started really, to using this new associate interview, man. It just changed my life. So here's how you can set all those. So this was by Kathy Coover. If Kathy Coover created it, I think that it's something. This is a really big one too. What do you think your biggest obstacles in building this business are? That's really, really powerful because that's something that people can be afraid of. And so I really like to go through some books or some videos. And that's why I have, generally it's a belief in the industry and belief in themselves, I think is often our lowest, or that, they don't have a large enough network or something like that. So then I'm going to make sure that that's initially what it is. I'm going to maybe deviate a little bit from, okay, this, and this, and say, well, if that's your biggest, can I send you something that can kind of show you how we're going to work with that? And if they don't watch it, they don't watch it, right? But I'm doing my part, and and only about 20% of the 80% of people who do this are actually going to begin to follow through and things like that. But you never know who it's going to be either. To knowing how to, connect with people, and getting commitment. Like if somebody can't commit, like I remember Susan Sly when Jimmy Smith, just really talked about, she says, I commit to 7 years of auto ship before she was making the money. She committed to 7 years of auto ship and becoming a professional and a millionaire in this business. Like that was her. So where's your commitment? If you don't see immediate return, and I like to ask them, if you don't see an immediate return in 6 months, a year, something like that, depending on like where you are, like, is that going to be, would you quit? Right? As somebody who's a 10, they wouldn't, because it doesn't matter how long it takes them. So just to getting an idea, and again, that's just really kind of like going over when I know, like, where they're at places, baseball games, things like that, kids, church, really kind of talking to them about connecting with people there. Again, setting up the new associate interview call, and then events. And we're really going to harp on events next week in the training. And again, just making sure that they're in the ICE body and the healthy mind and body. And I've done healthy mind and body. I do a lot of personal development. I think it's great. It really does tie in a lot with the isogenics. It's $39 to do. You get $45 back in product. So, ICE body too, make sure that they know in 16 weeks, they do get the $200 product voucher. But those are 2 things. And then that really can help you. And here it is, getting commitments from people. And oftentimes, again, a business builder is going to go through all the steps that accountability and share goes through. I don't separate it, right? It's because their product experience is there for your product story is everything. Not only because it also is going to build your belief in this product. And if you don't believe in this product, it's going to show. It's going to show in your business. So that product experience I want people to have, I want that full 30-day experience. I want them to experience what that's like. So they start off just the same. And again, welcome calls with other business builders. Can't stress that enough, connecting them with the support. I started them all with social media, and everybody's at a different level with social media. If you're someone and you haven't been very active on social media, I let them know this too. And, and then you look at somebody that's got 2,000 friends that makes a post. Well, you haven't posted for 5 months. You had your last post and everything was just happy birthdays to you from other people, right? You're private, whatever, and we're just going public and whatnot. It would look very weird for you to make an initial post about starting a system, who wants to join me, when you don't post anything. So then I would adjust it a little bit, right? And I would say, okay, we're just going to get active on Facebook. But just know that, if you see other people going really fast, that, we're going to have to work harder because other people have already been doing it. So there's going to be a time lapse. See, so it's setting that up though and kind of going over that and really understanding about what their social media activity is already like. Don't just say, hey, post this. Go see. I always like, how many friends do you have on Facebook? How active are you on Facebook? Are you in groups? That's something, are you on Instagram? Like really kind of get to know that, because social media is definitely the fastest way. We've gone over all this. Understand their current network. So two, I think a blessing for me was that I didn't have a large network when I started at all. And so I really had to learn how to build it, and that friendship was the best way for me to share Isogenics. For me, it was. But, it really is that, once you, to understand somebody's current network or, large one, but really focus though on expanding that. So guys, that is a skill set that can never be overmastered in this, is connecting and how to grow your network, be it if it's social media, be it if it's in person, whatever books you want to read, just master the art of connecting, master asking questions. It's critical. It's critical to your success in this business. All right. Let's see. Again, I expect them to be committed. Just there. Set up. You can have routine coaching calls. I have across the board trainings. For my team, and we're always doing calls and things like that. I'm always recommending books. We're always posting links and things. And Isogenics right now with their back to, or their boot camp, which this obviously was something, because when I saw them release it, I was like, that's what the Learn to Go Pro has been doing. Literally, it's out of order, but every single topic that they're speaking about is every single topic that we've been going over in this. So I'm excited following that. And that Del Rey, oh my gosh, on those products, not only is she absolutely stunning, just her story and why she loves these products so much. All right. In closing, a few things that have really helped me. First off, consistency is king. If you're someone and you're in and then you're out and then you're in and then you're out and you're wondering why your business isn't growing, you guys, you got to be all in. You can't have one toe in and one toe out. You've got to cannonball in. Lynn Hagedorn, the fastest growing millionaire in Isogenics, her like corporation name that I've seen on a lot of her LinkedIn, it's like Cannonball Incorporation. She's like, you got to cannonball in both feet. And then your belief, which we talked about in the beginning. And as those improve, everything improves. But just remember, it's not about us. It's not about me and them making me successful. It's about me getting better and attracting people into my organization. And I'm committed. I'm all in. So eventually I'm going to be aligned with like-minded individuals who have the same mission and vision as me, even if that one particular person doesn't. Them doing something has nothing to do with my success. Nothing. Because I'm committed. I'm all in. I'm committed to my success. Watch what people do and not what they say. That's really going to allow you to release expectations upon people, and then maybe not take some things personal or people coming in or not, just so you can keep a balance in this and not have some ups and downs. When we set expectations upon somebody else, that's not fair on them. I don't ever set an expectation for somebody to do something. I watch what they do, and I'm there to guide and mentor. If we build people up, they will build their business, I have found too. That's why I'm so into personal development. How much time are you spending on personal development, and still, and just being there, for people. And sometimes, just listening to somebody. I don't like to listen to excuses because I could give a million excuses as to why I can't do things too. But I do them anyway. But it's about sometimes that people do just need an ear, and then for you to remind them of what their self-talk is, what they're speaking into existence. Are they using words like hope, try, maybe? Or, right, those are key things that I listen for when I hear somebody say, I'm going to try. I'm going to correct that for them, very lovingly. Also, something that you can always say, is, are you open to some coaching? You can always use that term. Are you open to some coaching on that? I've had some mentors that have really blessed me in a certain aspect. So I have also found when you create a true relationship with someone, right, not only is your life richer, because I believe relationships to be the richest thing in life, friendships, because the thing is your strong relationship with that person, they're not necessarily maybe being loyal to themselves. Maybe they're not even being loyal to the product. They're going through something in their life. But the relationship with you is so strong that they're going to hang on for a little bit so you can catch them and see, oh my gosh, you're going through something or something like that, right? And do that whole thing, the ups and downs. When you have that kind of relationship with people, they're committed to you. They are committed to you and they don't want to let you down. And when that is leadership at its pinnacle, to have leadership like that, because you're leading with them like this, right? You're not looking down upon someone. You're not waiting for somebody to help you cycle, do something. You get off your butt and go do something. No, right? That is leading with them and having that kind of relationship, and they're your equal. They're your equal. I'm telling you that Lenny Evans and Dave MacArthur, thank you for really showing me what being in the trenches is like with the team. Because I'm telling you guys, get in the trenches with your team, get in there and build that relationship. Again, just match energy for energy. I cannot reiterate that enough, or you will be drained. If you are putting in more energy than other people are putting in, and that's what you're constantly doing. Does it happen sometimes? Sometimes it's necessary to pull people up? Yes, but if that is a continuous thing for you, you're going to be exhausted, and you're going to want to end up quitting because you're exhausted. You don't have to do that. You are finding people, right? As long as we're just doing our part, expect people to do their part. Lead by example. Never ask somebody else to do what you yourself are not willing to do. And every day I like to ask myself, would I be excited that I enrolled me? Would I be excited that I brought me into my organization today? And if not, why? And if so, celebrate it, right? And if not, still celebrate 3 things that I did amazing today. Even if it maybe I wouldn't have been excited to have me in my organization, still, what did I do great today, right? There's always something that we're doing amazing today. And maybe me just asking myself that question is absolutely amazing, because I'm doing a self-check and I'm willing to get better, and I'm willing to do some real self-love and some honesty with myself. And personal development will be blue in the face of that. I'll talk a little bit more about that next week too, but events. So that is our training. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they wanted to ask? And again, I'm so sorry about the pushing the time back, but opportunity arose. We had to seize it. Let's see if I can figure out how to, there we go. Let's see. Any questions that you guys have? You can raise your hand. That's all right. It doesn't matter if you've gotten back. You are sending that new associate interview out. That's what matters. And people will send that back. You are welcome. All right, guys. Well, let's just continue to get better. I know I certainly have a lot of areas I can improve on myself, always and forever, and just keep showing up to trainings, events, all those awesome things. And again, always a reminder, if you have to choose between income producing activities and personal development, and your state is crap and you're pissed off that day, or don't go into prospecting, go into personal development. That would be my number 1 advice. Get in the state. So, all right. If there's no raised hands, I don't see any questions in chat. All right, well, this is recorded. It'll go up. It'll be loaded on the Learn to Go Pro. You can send your teams there. But again, just always encourage people to start at number 1. And just another tip too is now that this site's kind of here, and I kind of used to just be sending things one-on-one and taking people through this and that and everything. And so this is honestly just as much for me as for anybody to have a little structure with what I was always taking people through, just in a very disorganized way, that I would love to have you go through training number 1, right? You know, and hopefully I have that new associate interview, but starting out with putting their Facebook list, right? Making sure that they've watched the videos on the industry and network marketing and things like that. And then I'm setting up a time to go over and reevaluate what they learned in training session number 1, and to go over their list and kind of how we're going to reach out to people, you know, and that they've read the Go Pro book. So that's kind of what's really awesome too, that we can do as far as making sure people, you know, go through those things that are really wanting to be, you know, go full-time in it. They got all the time, you know, so just, again, it's just always do a kind of check, you know, check back in with people. How's it going? Or, you know, just don't forget to just check in on people as long as they're doing their part. So awesome, David. Well, you can be a part of all of our trainings by just going to the learntogopro.com. So you can always be a part of it too. So thank you guys for joining, and everybody just enjoy the trainings and putting it into action. That's the good stuff.